My face gross, Tim. It feels gross.
Dude. Good.
I can't trust you.
$1 million.
Aww. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a PlayStation Conversation. I'm Greg Miller, and this is the pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty. Beyond indeed. Colin, last night, what the hell's going on? It's GDC here in San Francisco. We go see a whole bunch of PlayStation Vita games. I thought there were no games for the PlayStation Vita.
Greg, there are lots of Vita games going on over here at GDC.
Yeah.
We saw, God, I want to say over 20 of them.
Right,
yesterday.
right.
And a lot of these games are cross-play, cross-buy, whatever, cross-save, between PS3 and Vita, so they'll be available on both.
Sure.
Kind of like Sound Shapes or PlayStation All-Stars or Sly Cooper. But the thing is that a lot of these are indie games. We're getting games that really have a lot of credibility, especially on PC with the indie crowd that might use Steam or whatever.
You got Limbo.
Yeah.
Hotline Miami. You got the drop kicks.
Dive kick.
I'm calling it the drop kicks.
Okay.
Adding the Murphys in for the sequel.
Yeah, well, I'm reading my handy notebook right here. So Ibn Ab, which is a really cool game.
Ibn Ab, Marty, me and Marty from IGN, only people to beat it, right, Marty? Yeah.
Zombie Tycoon 2, which is coming out soon. That's a sequel to a PS Mini.
And it's dope. Did you play it?
So my note here about this is it crashed on me first of all. And it's not good for demo. Like the game is too complicated for me to play for a few minutes and get a feel for it.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of like how I felt about Ragnarok Odyssey.
I got a nice long demo at PAX, and I'm a big fan of what was going on there.
Yeah, I have no doubt that a PS Mini that did well enough that it gets a full-fledged sequel on PS3 and Vita. It's a pretty good sign. Yeah, we saw Dive Kick. Dragon Fantasy Book 2 I think looks really, really cool if you're into old school RPGs.
Right.
Thomas Was Alone, first time I ever played or even saw anything about that game.
Big one though. It's another big indie hit.
Yeah, big with the indie scene or whatever. Excellent game. Really, really cool idea. Like, I hope it's as good. I don't want to say excellent game because we haven't played the whole thing. But
sure.
From the 5 or 10 minutes I played, I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
This is a really cool game. It's very abstract. Toro's Friend Network, which is like a weird...
There's a good independent video game.
Yeah, that's not an independent game. Velocity Ultra is really cool. That's a sequel again
another mini that went up and I got a real one.
The developer was kind of making fun of me because I was really bad at it. He's like, do you want me to play the game? And I was like, do you want it? I'm like, are you embarrassed that you're seeing your game being just butchered on the screen right now? And he was laughing or whatever. Yeah, we saw Limbo. Interesting PS mobile game called Treachery in Beatdown City I played, which is like a kind of Double Dragon type game. A lot of games coming out.
So what does all this mean, Colin? Why you figure Sony, they come out, it's GDC, day one, not even, like I guess the end, night one, they come out and they have this party where they talk about all these independent games, not Infamous Second Son, not Killzone. It's all about, hey, here are the little guys making good games for our system. Why are they doing this?
I think there's a few reasons. First of all, I don't think they're really ready to talk more about PS4 yet. And I don't think they want to because they don't want to detract from the fact that they have this console with a 75 million install base plus a handheld that's really struggling to get beyond 5 million units or so out there. And I think that they're trying to say, like, hey, PS3 was really complicated to develop for. The cell processor was proprietary and it was really difficult to work around. Only our first parties really knew how to master it. The Vita is different, and we're trying to get indie developers, remove all the barriers, let them put their games on there, make some money. They have the pub funding too, which is very interesting, which is where they're basically funding games against the money the game makes later. So it's kind of like a loan almost. Which I think is really cool. Guacamelee is one of those games. And Guacamelee was there, and we didn't talk about it because we've had the game for a while, and that actually had a release date of early April now. $14.99 for PS3 and Vita.
Very excited for Guacamelee.
Yeah, our review will go up for that soon. So I think that there's trying to play the long game in a sense by getting those indie developers in now because the PS4 will be very easy to develop for, I think, and also saying like, hey, our PS3 and Vita still exist. Don't worry about the PS4 yet.
Today on Podcast Beyond, we talked about this a little bit, and what I said is that this was on a smaller level what they did at the PlayStation 4 event, right? This is all about laying a foundation and saying, all right, you know what? Again, it was complicated to make for the PS3. We don't want the Vita to be that way. We don't want the PlayStation 4 to be that way. Limbo took forever to get to the PlayStation Network. Hotline Miami is this huge PC game. We want to make sure we're getting those games right away, moving forward. And so they're building these relationships. That's really exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's smart.
Yeah.
Again, it's the long game. I think it's a total paradigm shift with the way Sony looks at development, and they've always been easier to develop for. You hear a lot of stuff about Microsoft being really difficult to get games on XBLA, paper updates and all that. Sony's always kind of been ahead of the curve in terms of its competitors, but I think it's actually like really lapping them now. And the only thing we're interested to see now is, will Microsoft follow suit when they announce the Xbox, hopefully in the next month or two?
Yeah.
Will they have a similar indie-friendly thing? Because I think that's really important. The indie scene has really revitalized the PC gaming space.
Yep.
And I think that they're looking to do that in the other, Vita is a niche handheld, but if you give, gamers a lot to play, even from the indie scene, they're going to pick one up.
And this is what we're talking about again on Beyond, right? That I think a lot of people who have a Vita might not have a gaming PC. So they've heard great things about Hotline Miami. It was a nominee for IGN's Game of the Year last year, but they didn't get the chance to play it. Now it's coming over on a device that's cross-play, cross-buy, I think, right? For Hotline?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
It could be.
So some of these decisions, what's interesting is that I talked to Adam Boyes from Sony yesterday, and he was telling me that, I was asking him, is cross-buy, cross-play, cross-save going to be like the standard? And his whole thing, to the spirit of getting the indie developers in, is like, they can do whatever they want.
Right. Right.
They put, if they want cross-buy, that's up to them. If they want to do cross-save, that's up to them. We're not going to tell them what to do. So I think a lot of the different games we saw are going to kind of utilize these systems in different ways, contingent on what's good for them. And I think that, in turn, is going to be good for Sony and good for the gamers.
Well, what do you, as gamers, think, ladies and gentlemen? In that comments field, let us know. Do you care about these games? Is Limbo too late to the party, or have you never even played Hotline Miami and you're very excited? Is what Sony is doing with these independent developers getting you hot and bothered? We want to know. Are you hot and bothered?
Yeah. Just generally.
Me too, yeah. Let's get out of here.
All right,
Beyond.